Spirituality in our modern world has become trendy, and that makes it a dead end. It's become this fantastical story of seeking something beyond, something mystical. It's no different than anything else in the world, which is an escape or a means to something more. It's a distraction. It's a ruse. And it's ironic because spirituality was meant to be the one thing that was satiating our soul. It was meant to be the beacon of our seeking impulse. And yet it's become a smoke signal. It's become a fad, because all of these altered states and strange activities and practices, they lead nowhere. True spirituality is the alignment with your true self. And there are no practices. There are no techniques. There are no prescriptions or formulas or how-tos to get to your true self. You are yourself. It's all of these funny games that we play, all of these ways that we pretend like there's somewhere we need to get to. There's all of these intellectual, sophisticated, overly complex ideas, concepts, which we impose onto reality, in between our true self and whatever it is that we perceive in this moment now. In my late teens and in my 20s, I was entrepreneurial. I was pursuing my own potential. I was bringing my ideas into the world. I had inspirations that I wanted to give birth to. And I was suspicious of anyone's advice or prescriptions or how to get to success. Any forms of advice, I would be hesitant to follow, because I knew in my heart, at the core of my being, that the way to the success that I knew was my vision had to be my way. There was no compromise. There was no following somebody else's footsteps. There was my path, which would unfold beneath my feet as I stepped forward. I wouldn't be able to see that path. I wouldn't be able to know that path. I wouldn't be able to be told what that path looked like. I would discover that path as I walked it. And as I realized the fulfillment of that chapter of my life in entrepreneurship, I moved on to the second chapter, which was more of a spiritual nature. I was seeking for something more real than the fleeting, impermanent, surface level things that never really satisfied me. So I embraced spirituality and I started to explore the different avenues, and I traveled to meet different teachers, and I moved to a monastery halfway across the world where I lived for several months. And I followed the prescriptions. I adopted the practices, and I tried various techniques and modalities and forms of meditation and different tools that I could apply. And some had interesting effects, and some seemed to work in certain ways, but nothing was ever truly satisfying or lasting. And in the last few years, I've come back into the understanding of the truth that true spirituality is you. It is your way. It is your path. There is no guru or teacher. There is no deity or angel, or there is no guidance apart from yourself that will reveal the way home to your true self. And so I was reminded of the tenacity and the authenticity and the sincerity of my approach to entrepreneurship, and just how relevant that is to the more spiritual aspect of my life. There's no one in the world that can help you, because there's no hope for you other than from yourself. If you're looking for a how-to, you're already lost, because the way is right there in front of you. And you won't know it before you step into it. And so don't get lost in the trends and the fads of what the world claims spirituality to be, because it's become no different than religion or self-help or any other formulaic or prescriptive way to something which is not true. You are the way. You are the path.